From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Urban Outlook.
From the Urban Outlook, I'm April Leaf, and thank you so much for being with us today. You know, the summer is here, and there are all sorts of activities throughout the city that are happening, and some have that musical connection because we are the Music City after all. But we thought we'd do a little catching up and filling in of all the things that you may want to add to your list. So we are going to talk first to Sharon Hurt, who is the CEO of JUMP, G-U-M-P. You know, that's the Jefferson United Merchants Partnership, and they've got all sorts of things happening up and down Jefferson Street as usual, and we'll talk a little bit later about a jazz festival and also one of the music museums that we want to bring you up to speed on. So let's get started though with Sharon, who's one of our favorite guests that always comes and fills us in on the latest happenings out there. Good morning. Good morning. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You've always had some things going on, from the revitalization of Jefferson Street, from new businesses coming into place around those areas, from all sorts of other things that are happening either around the colleges and universities that are along that stretch, or just businesses in general. So maybe bring us up to speed just a little bit of the latest happenings.
Oh, you know, I'm so excited to do that. We have the Sulphur-Dale, which is the old baseball park that's now going to become the First Tennessee ballpark that the Nashville Sounds will be coming and playing. They're building a new ballpark, which is right off of Jefferson Street in that old site where Sulphur-Dale was, right there between 4th and 3rd Avenue, next to the Bicentennial Mall. And I am so excited because with the ballpark coming, there's going to be probably $150 million of development that's going to take place on Jefferson Street as a result.
What's the timeline for all of that?
Well,
when will we see the park and then the rest of the
in about a year. We're expecting the ballpark to be constructed and they're ready to throw that first pitch.
Wow.
And I'm excited because this is a long-awaited time for Jefferson Street and the North Nashville community to have this type of development and the kinds of dollars, the economic impact that it can make on this corridor. So we're really, really excited. And specifically for JUMP, we have a workforce development program. You know, we were part of the construction of the Music City Center, so we're going to take that program and help with the construction of the ballpark. We're going to help with the construction of the River Park that's coming in downtown, as well as the HCA development that's coming up. So we're excited about all of the development that's coming, and then that $150 million that's being developed on Jefferson Street. We definitely plan to have parts of that development that's taking place.
You have been with JUMP for quite some time now.
Almost 15 years
Almost
now.
as long as it's been in existence.
Well, not quite, just shy of about 3 years.
Okay. And through those years, talk just a little bit about the history, because it has been, you know, maybe not always the easiest road to travel when it comes to making sure we keep Jefferson Street thriving.
Right.
And if we look way back in history, I can remember talking to people long ago about the fact that once that highway, once the interstate went through and cut Jefferson Street in half, it stopped a lot of the thriving businesses that existed back then.
That is absolutely.
In the course of those years that you've been there, how has that growth, how has the progress showed itself?
Well, let me just say this. While the interstate did have a devastating effect on that community, we had a double blow because it was at that time that integration also came and played a part. So with both of those blows coming to that community, it basically wiped us pretty much out. I mean, I tell people we were knocked down, but we weren't knocked out. So we've had to come back, and over the last 2 or 3 decades is where we've been able to start to get a little speed. And in the last 10 years, and as I said, I've been there for almost 15 years, we've really picked up quite a bit. We've had some investments from private owners in the Jefferson Street community, like I mentioned the last time I was here, from the College Crib to the Tennessee Tribune and Harper's and the Odie Center, Essence Day Spa, and Lavelle Glanton. We've just had quite a bit of development in those individual pockets of Jefferson Street, but we've got some new developments that's coming on because Citizens Bank is planning to redevelop their building, and they're going to bring their headquarters over to Jefferson Street. They got a beautiful rendering that they plan to use. Their drawing is just absolutely amazing. We're going to be so excited and so happy. And then you think about what Meharry Medical College is doing by bringing apartments there for its students. All of that is going to definitely positively affect Jefferson Street and impact the economics of this community, and I'm excited about it.
You also touched on the potential economic growth. I wonder if you've got some projections in mind. The development numbers, you know how much is going in to develop it, but what do you think the potential economic impact will be once all is said and done?
Dr. Ghosh from Tennessee State University, who's an economist, has told me previously that when you have development, you can take that number times 5, and that's typically the kind of economic impact that would have on a community. So when you're talking about $150 million, then what is that, $750 million of economic impact?
Potential there.
Potential right there, and that's just from the ballpark. We've got the State Library of Archives that's going to be coming. As I mentioned, the developments that's taking place on Meharry Medical College, that's not inclusive of that $150 million that I spoke of. So, I mean, we are headed in the right direction and going exponentially into some great things for that community. So I'm really, really excited and happy of what is to come.
Are there things citizens can do? Because I know it's a lot of work for you and your team of folk and the people who are up and down, whether living up and down Jefferson Street or have businesses there. That's one thing. But what can the rest of the community do to contribute to this effort?
I think that
some might say just shop.
Absolutely. Something as simple as just shopping on the street is good, and having lunch and patronizing the businesses that are there. But even things that are as simple as trying to make sure that it stay clean. You know, don't litter, don't throw your trash out. Talk the positive things about that community. And if you don't know positive things, go visit the Gateway to Heritage. That's a beautification project that is on Jefferson Street where the interstate once was. You know, where they used to hang those sheets on the fence?
Yes, that's
But now we've got a beautiful landscaped project that has pillars that focuses on 5 different areas, including athletics, education, civil rights, music, and religion. And it gives historical data about people in this particular community and how they've positively impacted. And you can learn all of those things. And those pillars are from 28th Avenue all the way to Rosa Parks, and it's a wealth of information.
Well, you tapped on one of those pillars being music, and of course we're Music City. That makes for a nice little lead into our next segment.
Absolutely.
So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about some of the musical happenings in the museum that's in progress here in Music City. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.